Hey y'all, it's Steve, Hobo with Wood. Coming at you on November 27th, 2022. Thanksgiving is behind us. Christmas is around the corner. And Christmas is coming early for Hobo. There is a lot of things going on for Hobo. I've got my first CO2 that should be here in the next few days. I've got all new electronic system coming. I'm putting in a new PC, new monitors, new cameras, new video, new audio. I'm investing in this channel and the new channel, the Laser Makers Realm. And hopefully we're going to have a tremendous amount of fun and learn a lot together. But this video is why I got the CO2, which CO2, and why you should get one too. And for me, the future's so bright. You know the rest of the zone. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so this video is not going to be a how-to or a did you know or any kind of tutorial. This is the research I've done on a diode versus a CO2 and how I came to decide to invest in the CO2 and really up my game. For those who've been with me for since Father's Day or thereabouts, and if you've gone back and watched the videos, I just started lasering Father's Day 2022. It was a gift to myself and needed something to do, and I did start it strictly as a hobby, as with this channel. It was just something to entertain myself and hopefully others. Turned out I really enjoy it, and I'm pretty good at it. And they say you can buy these little 10-watt diode lasers as for a small business, but you're not going to operate any kind of business using a 10-watt diode for any kind of real revenue or source. It's just not possible. And I've got to find a way to feed my face, and I'm hoping that YouTube will finally get there eventually. But until then, I've got to sell some stuff, and it's just not practical to create enough product with the diode to be profitable and to eat. So let me show you what I've learned, the steps that I used to get there, and what I decided to do. So let's get the serial, and I'll show you. I've got this project that I've started selling here for Christmas. I call this my money tree, and it will hold 10 pieces of currency rolled up and form a skirt around the Christmas tree. And I took some of these to a local gift shop Saturday morning for uh, support local small business Saturday, and sold out of these before I even walked out of the building. And shop owner was like, "We need more trees." And I said, "Yes, we need to get more trees." So I came home and I started cutting these out. Now, let's jump in here to Lightburn and show you how I've got these formatted. Zoom out a little bit here. Now, I'm working with a 10-watt diode, and I can get a 12 by 12 piece of pre-cut Baltic birch in there without any problem, and save time with trying to prep any wood. It's already pre-cut, ready to go. And I can get 10 of these trees on that cut bed. And if there are no fillers or voids that stop me or prevent me from being able to make the necessary cuts, I get 10 good pieces out of one board. And that's a challenge sometimes. But we get 10 pieces, 10 trees. Now for this set of trees right here, With my 10-watt diode, I'm able to cut through this 3mm or 3.5mm Baltic birch, cut through it in 3 passes at 4mm a second, 240 millimeters a minute. I think that's right. But 4mm a second, 100% power, 3 passes to cut through it. The engrave is really, really quick because I'm just doing a line engrave. But to cut these 10 pieces out, if we look at the preview, it's an hour and 8 minutes to cut just the trees out. That's 10 trees, an hour and 8 minutes. This is the base. Now I'm able to get 12 bases in one piece of wood. And since I'm already cutting them, and there's always going to be 1 or 2 that doesn't cut out, so I cut the extras. That's 53 minutes, 54 minutes. And then the rings. Preview. An hour and 53, hour 54. So with setup time between all the pieces, my total diode time to cut out those 10 trees rounded off from 4 hours and 10 minutes. And that's not counting the time it takes to get the pieces in there, get them framed just right to maximize all the wood. So really, you probably figure about 4.5 hours at least if you're just ready there on the spot to move and cut. You're going to be 4.5 hours, and if you've got other things going on, it's 5 hours to cut out 10 pieces. And these little things, I'm only selling them for $15 a piece. So I'm generating $150 worth of product in 4.5 to 5 hours. That's not very profitable. And I have access to a CO2 cut library, and I was able to put that library in here. And let's show you what that looks like. We're going to change, we're going to load. Now, the CO2 I'm looking at is a 60 watt, and I'm looking at, it'll be here this week. It's a 60 watt CO2. This is the cut library for a 50 watt CO2. So this is even going to be slower than what I'm looking at. So if we look at the trees were an hour and 10 minutes. Assign. Now let's go to the engrave layer. Assign. Okay. So it was an hour and 10 minutes to do the trees with the diode. 17 minutes. So an hour and 10 minutes cut to 17 minutes for the trees. For the bases, the diode was 1 hour, 2 minutes and 42 seconds. An hour versus 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Mind blowing. And for the rings, the diode was 2 hours, 5 minutes and 58 seconds. 6 minutes. All right, so for a tally on those times, the diode total cut time was 4.5 to 5 hours, depending on how quick you are to get everything moved, set up, and reframed. For the diode, and this is a 50 watt diode, and I'm looking at the 60 watt, but just, you know, I'm hedging on the low side. 26 minutes total cut time. 26 minutes. Not 4 or 5 hours. 26 minutes to generate the same product. Now, let's convert that to dollars and cents. Looking at my notes here. So we've got 10 pieces at $15 a piece. We've generated $150 worth of revenue. Took 250 minutes minimum with the diode. That's earning 60 cents per minute or $36 an hour, which $36 an hour ain't bad if you're working for somebody, but that's not counting your material cost, your overhead cost, the operating cost. So not that great once you start shaking everything out. The same $150. Since you were able to do it in 26 minutes, that comes out to $5.77 a minute instead of 60 cents a minute. So $5 more per hour, which comes out to $346 an hour. Not $36 an hour, $346 an hour. Now, let's take it even further. Since initially we're working at 4.5 to 5 hours with the diode, if we invest the same amount of time using the CO2, instead of generating $150 in revenue, you're going to be able to generate 10 times that. You're going to be able to put out $1,500 in goods in the same time with the CO2 that you did with the diode. Why would you buy a diode if you're going to do it for business purposes? I don't care whose diode it is. It don't make sense at all. And anybody that advertises their diode as a small business diode is misleading you. That and right there, that should be enough information for you right there. Why the CO2 is the better investment. If you're doing a business. Now, if you're doing just strictly hobby stuff, and you're not planning on trying to generate revenue, and you're only cutting out little airplane projects for you and your grandkids, then the diode is all you're going to need, and all your. But I'm talking to those who drink the Kool-Aid and believe what they're saying, that this is a small business investment. It is not. It's a small business waste of money. It's a great way to maybe cut your teeth, but if you're doing it and you want to get into the business, why do it with training wheels? You know, it doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense. Now, I've shown you how you can use that CO2 and how it's going to pay for itself quickly. But now let's talk about what the actual investment differences are. How much is it going to cost you to invest in the CO2 over a diode? Now, I don't, I have been, anybody watching the channel knows that I have been struggling with my X-Tool D1 since I bought it. I have cracked laser lenses on the module, not just the dust lens, but the modules too. Tons and tons of issues. Trying to get a hold of X-Tool and their customer service is impossible. They don't return phone calls. They don't return emails. They helped me out a little bit initially, but now they've just written me off. You know, and I've not even had it for it's June, end of June, so I've had it 6 months. And they don't know who I am. They don't care who I am. They don't care about any of my issues or any of my problems. I knew this going into it as far as the lack of support, because I checked before I bought it. I called and looked for information from customer support and never got a hold of anybody. So when it come down to I'm going to invest into a much bigger investment, I want to have the knowledge of knowing there's someone I can reach on a phone in my time, not in their time, because what X-Tool does have is based in China. So there's no phone call. The local U.S. support phone number is an answering service in Nevada that forwards your information to somebody in China who then never gets back to you. So I'm looking at going with the fireproof 60 watt manual focus CO2 laser engraver. Now this thing's big. So that's the other thing is, do you have room for it? And if you're going to do business, you need to make room for it, because you're not going to do any really profitable business with any diode. There you can see that the price on this currently is on sale, save $200. It's $26.49, $26.50. Now that's not the entire investment you need to make. Just like with the diodes, there are other accessories you need to really optimize your cutting ability and engraving ability. Now, when I bought my X-Tool, I had to, the X tool itself is, oh, that's $850. Yeah, but that's not even the half of it, because you're not going to buy just the X tool and accomplish everything you need uh, efficiently. I had to get the X tool. I had to get the honeycomb. I got the rotary so I could do the glasses, and the tumblers. You need the air assist if you're going to be cutting. Um, an enclosure for safety, smoke purifier. Uh, so I'm 160 on the honeycomb, 850 on the X tool, 270 on the rotary. The leg extensions, because if you get the rotary, you've got to get the extensions. They nickel and dime you to death on these uh, diodes. Leg extensions, $25. Air assist, $160. The enclosure, $200. Smoke purifier, $600. The total investment in the X tool was just under $2,300 total for a product that gave me trouble from day one. Now I've generated some really nice stuff. I mean, this was one of my first projects, and you can do some really detailed work with the diodes. And it's my understanding that the lower the power and the slower the speed, the more detail you can get out of a piece of wood. So it's not that you can't generate nice stuff. This is a purse that I make with the 10-watt diode. I sell these for $150, $200, depending on the detail and what I do to them. But this right here, to do this living hinge cut, just on laser time, this is 4.5 to 5 hours in itself to generate one product that I'm gonna sell for under $200. I can't wait to see how quick I can do this. Probably gonna be the same thing. It's because time is time. It's mostly cuts, just like the tree. So instead of 4.5 hours, I'm gonna do this in 25 minutes. Hello. So and selling them at $200, so I'm generating $400 an hour there. That's great. Got lost train of thought there. All right, so $2,300 total investment in a diode that's handicapped. This one's no limit switches, all kinds of issues, no customer support. Monport does have US based customer support, technical support. That's huge for me. I don't know anything about CO2s. I didn't know anything about diodes when I bought mine. I learned everything I know from watching YouTube and videos like this. In order to get this CO2 up and going, you're looking at the laser 2650. Now these are water cooled, and you need a chiller. And there are a couple of guys out there, you can do it with a bucket and just recirculate it out of a 5-gallon bucket. Well, that's probably not the best way to do things, and you shouldn't be just using water. You need distilled water and all kinds of other things. These are all things that I've got to learn. But if you want it to last and be clean and efficient, you really need to get their chillers. I mean, they even make them with built-in chillers, but this one doesn't have a built-in chiller. So I've got the accessories. I've got their 5200 chiller. It's $530. And then the smoke purifier, shop accessories, the air purifier, that's another $260, $270. So you're going to have a total investment there of what's that? 3440, something like that. So about $1,200 more money. $1,200 more than all that money I spent on that little 10-watt diode. But I can generate 10 times the work. Ain't gonna take long to make that up. Not long at all. Not if you're doing this for business. Again, if you're a hobbyist and only doing hobbyist and not trying to do production, then diodes are great. But if you're going to do production work, you're not going to do it efficiently with any diode. It just ain't going to happen. So this is a long video, I'm sure. I hope you've stuck with me. And now I want you to know about a video that I will put a link to in the end of this that shows you that heads up comparison. And I don't have that project here. I've already sold the project. Also, you're going to want to click on the link below for the Laser Maker's Realm. The Laser Maker's Realm is a new channel on YouTube, just started up. We're just getting it going. And it's going to be a very exciting channel to be involved with. And it's going to be a lot of fun for you because this is a collaboration between myself, Rich, the Louisiana hobby guy, and Patrick from Light Source Engraving. And we're going to be uploading videos a couple a week with projects that you can build yourself with your diode, with your CO2. We're working with all kinds of different lasers, and it's going to be a project, complete project from start to finish, on not on tutorials on how to design them, but this is the project. We're going to give you the project, not the physical project, but the files in order for you to do it yourself, totally free. All right, so your subscription's free, and the files are free. All you got to do is hit that subscription button, hit that bell for notifications, because you're going to want to be able to catch all the new videos. You're only going to see those if you hit that notification bell without having to go search and look for them. Some of them are going to be way beyond my ability, and some of them are going to be totally different. There's 3 different creative minds involved, so you're going to see all kinds of things happening here. It's going to be really fun, a lot of exciting things happening. So jump over to Laser Maker's Realm, subscribe now, and it shows the that letter to Santa and a welcome video. But as soon as I get my CO2 up and going in the next week or so, we're going to have a whole lot of new and exciting things to share with you. So like I said, things are really looking better. The future's so bright. So this has been Steve, Hobo with Wood, and I appreciate you watching. Another thing, about messed up. If you're considering a CO2, I strongly recommend you looking at that Monport. Where'd that go? Monport. There are a lot of options available. You don't have to go that big. They've got a nice desktop, the K40, which is a comparison to a lot of the or competes with a lot of the diodes in pricing. Look at that price. It's $530. The my laser, just the laser, was $800, eight or $850. So $530 for this CO2 desktop. Now it's only a 40 watt, but it's still going to smoke any diode out there. So there's a lot of options to choose from. And did I mention the U.S. technical support, the U.S. based? So when you call somebody, you're going to be able to get a hold of somebody here in the United States in your time, not having to worry about the day behind thing. But I have a link below that will get you an extra 6% off of your purchases from Monport using the code. I think it was Hobo6. Hobo6, I'm pretty sure, but I'll put it in the comments below. You're going to want to use that to help save additional money, and you can get yours ordered now. Won't take long to get it there, depending on the model you order, availability, and then you can come with me on this learning curve, just like we did with the diode. So now I think I've covered everything and why you need to invest in the CO2 today. Quit dragging your feet, pull the trigger, jump on board, and let's do this together, and we'll have some fun. Sign up for Laser Maker's Realm. Use the promo code below to save some money on any of your Monports. And the next video you get from me will be me receiving and unpacking my new CO2. All right, so now this has been Steve, Hobo with Wood, and I'll see you in the next video.